what was the most fun you had in the real world?
Well, I did everything, you know. I definitely enjoyed the simple things like, you know, driving and picking my nephew up from school, traveling but not working, and actually visiting museums and seeing ballets, and having great conversations with people on the plane.
Really?
Yeah, just having normal...
Why do I never get to sit next to people like you on a plane? Can you let me know your schedule next time?
Okay.
So you're on some plane and you start talking to some random person?
Yes, and you know what? It's great when people really don't know who you are. And it's funny because people sometimes say, I'm sorry, I'm just realizing I didn't know. And I'm like, that's why the conversation was so great. Because you just forget how wonderful it is to just to...
When they ask you what you do, what do you say?
They didn't.
You just have a normal conversation?
Not until, you know, people start getting weird and asking for pictures, and they're like, what is going on? But I visited, you know, the pyramids, and I was able to sing at the top of the pyramid.
No, I heard you sang Ave Maria.
I did.
While in one of the tombs of the pyramids.
Yes.
And it just echoed around.
It was...
What a moment.
It was beautiful. And who would ever think that I'd get an opportunity to do that? I was there alone with my family, and, you know...
Any truth in the rumor that you and Jay-Z are having joint pyramids built? To be remembered by? That's just rumor?
That's a good one.
I just made it up.
Okay.
But I thought it was quite a good one.
It is a good one. I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. It might stick.
Now, we're going to have a little break, and when we come back, I'm going to show you some incredible footage of a 6-year-old Beyonce Knowles performing. Where it all started.
Where it all starts.
And do it in slow motion. She thinks she's bad. Babe, don't make me mad.
That is hilarious. I mean, even at 6, you were showing off.
I was.
Seriously, very precocious performer.
It's very embarrassing, actually. That's not something you need everyone to see.
But even as a kid, can you remember the thought process when you were that young? Did you always know, I am going to be a star, I don't care what it takes?
I didn't at all know that I was going to be a star, but I did know that I felt very comfortable when I was on the stage. I was really shy, and I did not speak much. I was more comfortable with adults because my mother owned a hair salon, and I stayed in her salon. I was in grown people's business all day trying to listen to their conversations. And when I got on the stage, you know, my mother put me in dance lessons, and I really loved it. And I think, you know, when they saw me perform, they were like, wait a minute, she's like in heaven. And they realized that it was where I could step out of my shell, and I just felt the most like myself.
And I thought that last night watching it. You just seemed like in utopia for you.
Absolutely.
Like it just couldn't get better. And yet I keep hearing how shy you are. Last night, I mean, I've never seen such self-confidence in almost any performer. Where do you get it from? I mean, how do you create that kind of aura when by nature you're not really like that?
I don't know. I think for one, I'm not shy anymore. I am the person at the dinner party that is quiet and observing and having a one-on-one conversation. I get embarrassed when it's a lot of people and a lot of eyes, and I'm still that way. I wouldn't say shy, but now, you know, on the stage, I've been doing it for a while, and it's my place to be me and to be free, and I don't feel like I'm being judged. I feel like it doesn't matter how irritated I am or angry I am or excited or in love or whatever emotion. When I get on the stage, I'm just purely free, and I feel so honored every time I get on the stage because I know, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's what I love to do, and so many other people that love to do the same thing, and they don't get to perform in front of 175,000 people.
A lot of performers come from quite damaged backgrounds or dysfunctional in some way. What's quite refreshing about your story is it's not really like that. You came from a remarkably successful family, and not lots of money, but your dad was a top Xerox guy when he was young. Your mum ran this incredibly successful salon. And they both taught you, A, that if you want to be successful, you've got to work really hard.
Absolutely.
And it seemed to me they taught you about the importance of when you get there to be humble, to not lose the sense of who you are.
They absolutely did. I learned, you know, my mother worked 13 hours a day, and I never heard her complain. I mean, she worked until her feet were calloused. And my father was such an incredible entrepreneur, and any and everything he said he would have, he worked until he had it. And he taught me there's no such thing as no. And I had a lot of great support. And I think the support is really a huge, you know, factor in my success, knowing that if something didn't work out, I still was loved. And, you know, having that security is really important.
I mean, your mum is only 10 feet away as we speak. So she's here protecting you even now.
Yes.
And she does come almost everywhere that you go, doesn't she?
She does.
What are the values, do you think, that she's instilled in you?
Well, definitely that, you know, beauty fades and who you are from within is forever. And definitely be a woman of your word and hard work. She is always correcting me, and you know, I feel like it doesn't matter if you are the janitor or the president, everyone's the same. Making sure that I keep my humility and my spirit, you know, she is always honest with me.
When has she, since you became famous and successful, when has she been the most angry with you?
I remember when we first had our single on the radio, and I was starting to feel like I was hot. And I was in the record store, and she was talking to me, and I started singing because I didn't want to hear whatever she was saying. And I was about 15, and the song was playing on the radio, and I'm like, yeah, and these guys were looking like, ooh, that's Beyonce, and I thought I was hot. And she smacked the crap out of me in that store. When I tell you, what?
Really?
Yes, and sent me to the car and was like, I don't care what song you have on the radio, you are my child, you do not disrespect me, and I will never forget it. It was a great lesson.
So you've never sung again like that in a shop, in a store with your mum?
No, absolutely.
See, when I met her, I could tell, I mean, A, she's got your beauties. I don't think this beauty thing fades. But there was a steely look in her eye, as if to say,
oh, yes,
you mess with my girl, young man, or old man, and you're going to get it.
She's strong.
So I'm just a smack away from one question goes wrong here, right? She's there.
She is. But she is my friend. And, I mean, we don't agree on everything, and I'm an adult, and, you know, we have our moments because we work together and with our clothing line, and she is respectful.
What is she most proudest of that you've achieved, do you think? What was the moment for your mum?
I can say probably when I sang At Last for the president. I think, you know, my father, all of his history, he grew up in Gaston, Alabama, and he was escorted to school every day because he was one of the first African Americans in his school. And my mother, you know, in her day, she couldn't ride the front of the bus. So for her to see her child.
Doesn't it sound amazing when you say things like that now?
Yes.
In this day and age, that only in our generation even, that's what your parents had to go through. I find that a staggering thing.
I do too.
Even now when I hear it.
It's true. But it's a new day, and my parents saw me being a part of that history. And now I see my nephew, and he's like, I don't understand why everyone is saying that Obama is black, because it's just normal to him, and that makes me, that's my, you know, my joy. So, you know, it's great to see the growth, and it's great that my parents could live to see that, and it makes me very proud.
Hold that there, because I want to talk to you more about that amazing night when you sang at the inauguration, because I can imagine for you talk about nerves at Glastonbury.
Oh.
The nerves at that event?
Yes.
Let's discuss in a moment. You have got a pair of chops on you, haven't you?
Thank you.
Wow, you belted that. I mean, waiting before you went to sing that, knowing the background, knowing what you've told me about your parents, the struggle they'd had to come through, like so many African Americans in America. And then here, you have Barack Obama has become president. This sea change. And on the night that America celebrates, you are selected to sing. What are you feeling just before you go out?
Right now, I'm very emotional because it's like I'm reliving it. And it was really powerful and overwhelming. And I kept telling myself, okay, this is not about you. You have to do this for them. You have to do this for history. And it's the only way I was able to get through that song because I wanted to bawl and I wanted to stare and I wanted to watch and I wanted to, you know, but I was a part of it. So it was probably oh my God, I can't believe I was there and I can't believe it was my voice for that moment. And so honored, and so many memories, so many stories from my father and my grandparents and my mother, and just all going through my mind, and it was really fantastic.
Have you had to put up with racism as you grew up? Did you experience the bad side of it?
A bit, but you know, I feel like now people, at least with my career, I've kind of broken barriers, and I don't think people think about my race. I think they look at me as an entertainer and a musician, and I'm very happy that that's changing because I think that's how I look at people, and that's how I look at my friends. It's not about color and race, and I'm just happy that that's changing.
And there was a moment around that time when you had the most powerful man in the world, Barack Obama, African-American. You had the biggest TV star in the world, Oprah. Mm-hmm. You, the biggest singing star in the world. You know, Tiger Woods was then the #1 golfer in the world, which would have been unthinkable 20, 30 years before.
Exactly.
The sea change really came through personal achievement as much as anything else.
Absolutely.
Did you feel that?
I did. Absolutely. And I'm proud of it. And I'm just praying that we continue to grow and people continue to see the right things in people.
What did your parents say after you performed at the inauguration?
Oh, my mom cried forever. And I did too. It was a beautiful night. And like I said, definitely the most proud moment for her and for myself. And
the president, what did he say?
I did.
First lady. You talked to them?
I did not speak to them. I wish I had it like that. But I've seen them years later.
I've heard, and you can clear up this rumor. This is a brilliant rumor, even if it's not true. So if it's not true, maybe just pretend. But I've heard that Jay-Z has the president on the speed dial of his cell phone. Is this true?
I don't know.
That means it is.
No, it doesn't. They are amazing. They are wonderful. And I just worked with the First Lady with the Let's Move initiative, and it was so beautiful how much
Because she's
passion.
A remarkable woman.
She is.
Whatever side you are on the political divide, or whatever your view of how he's doing as president, Michelle Obama has barely put a foot wrong and is a remarkable role model, I think.
She is. And she cares so much. And what she did, her whole idea was so brilliant because the girls and boys were practicing the choreography, not even realizing that they were taking care of their bodies and moving around. And I'm so happy she asked me to be a part of that.
How do you think he's doing as president?
I think he's doing a great job. I think he's fantastic. I think he needs another term. He needs more time. And I think with the time he has, he's incredible.
Will you campaign for him?
Absolutely.
On the stump, doing your bit?
Absolutely. I did the first time, and I will again.
But you must have met him now. You must have spoken to him.
No, I've met him. They're amazing. They're so gracious.
He has to go around to thanking you, I hope.
Yes, of course. Of course. And we performed. I performed at the White House, and they were so gracious. They not only spoke to me, they spent time with every single member of my band, and they're just the epitome of class and heart. It's beautiful.
America's going through a sort of difficult phase. Everybody knows that when you're there. Economically, very, very tough conditions. Obviously, various wars going on as well, a lot of drain on resource. What do you think, when you look at America now, what do you think America needs to get itself back on its feet properly?
Well, I think we're getting there. I think we need Obama, and he's doing his job, and we just have to believe in him and trust our president.
And what do you think about what I detect as a slight lack of confidence in America? You're an incredibly confident American businesswoman.
Yes.
What advice do you give to people? Maybe they've lost their jobs, maybe they're going through difficulty. What advice do you give them as someone who came from no money to build this empire through hard work? What do you say to them?
I would say to continue to work hard and don't give up on your goals. And I know for me, like I said, I grew up watching my family struggle, and I grew up with a family that was successful but not born successful. And I believe with hard work and with a goal and love and positivity, then eventually we're going to be fine.
Well, talking of love and positivity, I'm going to have a little break and come back and talk to you about the man in your life.
Uh-oh.
Which I know you love to talk about. Crazy in Love, of course, which you sang with a certain gentleman. Yes. Mr. JZ, as we call him in Great Britain. JZ. Now, I sat opposite your husband at a dinner, and I didn't know what to expect. You know, you hear sort of ferocious rap star coming to town, everyone battens down the hatches. In walks this guy, immaculately dressed, I mean immaculate, incredibly charming, friendly, easy to talk to, funny, very, very funny. We had 2 or 3 hours just talking about life in the universe, a little bit about you and stuff, and I was really impressed with him. And I don't say that just to make you feel good. I actually was genuinely struck by, you know, he's not just a successful singer or a good businessman, he's a good man. It struck me. You could have had your pick of any guy. What was it about JZ? That's the last time I'm calling it that, but it gets me a free laugh in American.
I feel the same way you feel. And Jay and I have kind of made a decision that we want to be known for our music and you know, not our relationships or scandals. And it's hard because sometimes it's like, okay, I can't talk about him, but he's amazing.
He's amazing.
And I agree with all of the things that
occasionally
you
just better sit back and go, you know what, my husband's a pretty cool guy.
And he is.
And he is a pretty cool guy.
He really is.
He was there last night supporting you.
Yes.
He's abandoned you with me to go to the tennis, which I'm personally quite pleased about.
I'm not. No, I'm happy to be here with you.
When you sing a song like Crazy in Love, how many times have you been crazily in love in your life?
Not many. Not many at all.
And then you meet this guy.
Yeah.
And that's it, bang.
I definitely had a very natural friendship and connection with him. And I mean, we've been together for a very long time, and I'm just very happy.
What does love mean to you? Proper love.
Well, you know, love is the foundation of everything I do. It's inspired. My music is inspired by love, and from my family, from my husband, from my sisters, and it gives me the security and the confidence that you see on the stage.
And it is, I mean, most people say you have to have had your heart broken to sing with real emotion. I don't get the sense that you ever have.
I've had my life experiences, definitely. I mean, I haven't had this perfect, flawless life. And any relationship, you go through issues and you have to learn each other, and you grow and you have painful moments. And I feel like, you know, a lot of my life experiences I used in this album. There's a way that I'm singing that's very different. And I think I had an epiphany when I did Cadillac Records, when I played Etta James, because for the first time I had to sing from a different place. She was addicted to heroin, and I've never done any drugs, so I had to use, you know, the most painful emotions and memories of my life and sing from that place.
Let's just hold and watch a clip from that, because it was an incredible performance.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about it after this. I mean, a really visceral, raw performance, that. And it surprised a lot of people. A lot of your critics watched it and were like, whoa, okay. She's not as simple in terms of her performance as we think she is. There was a real depth there. That must have been satisfying to you.
It was very satisfying. And I worked really, really hard. So, you know, it felt good to know that it was appreciated. And even if it wasn't, it was such growth for me as a human being and as an artist. And it made me want to take more risks in my career. It made me a lot braver. And to have the freedom to kind of let go of all, ego and not care about what I look like or fitting into a pop star box. It just was really liberating to me.
Do you like the acting?
I do.
Do you like the pace of it? I would imagine with singers, when you get on stage, you know, wham, bam, it's all over in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you get all the energy out and you go and have a drink, whatever you want to do. When you're acting, you're always sitting around waiting, hundreds of people watching you.
I don't like that as much, but I do like the stability. I like being able to go to the same place every night and your call time is around the same every morning and you're around the same people for 6 months and you don't have to travel 100 places. So you kind of build a family relationship, and because I've been touring since I was 13, that is something I haven't had in my life.
How do you like doing those love scenes?
I don't like them.
Do you not?
No. They're uncomfortable. But after maybe...
Even if it's like Idris Elba, as you had that time?
No, it's uncomfortable.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
He is, but, you know, it's weird because, you know, I didn't grow up acting, so I've done 6 or 7 movies, which I've done kind of some romantic scenes in maybe 3, so it's still new to me. But I realized that, you know, it's a part of it, and after a few times, it kind of becomes choreography, so it gets a little easier.
Must be uncomfortable. I couldn't do it.
It's strange. It is. I mean, actors don't say that, but I feel that it's strange.
We're going to have a little break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about brand Beyonce.
Okay.
What it is and how you keep it at the top. Now, Beyonce, it just wouldn't be right for you to be in my hometown of London and I don't introduce you to a classic English tea.
I am very happy.
Because I know that despite your very svelte physique, that occasionally you do have lapses and you have these mad eating days, right?
I do. And
Pizzas,
I missed it yesterday.
Fries, it all goes swilling in.
Yes.
You couldn't have it yesterday because of Glastonbury.
Yes.
You now have a piping hot cup of English tea.
Uh-huh.
Then what you need, especially on a hot summer's day like this, is a scone. I'm going to prepare one for you.
Okay. And what is this pronounced?
It's called a scone, or if you're really pretentious, you can call it a scone.
Okay,
Which is what people who think they're members of the royal family or ought to be call them scones.
Okay.
So you take some cream. It's about as fattening as it can possibly get this.
Delicious.
Take a bit of fattening cream. You take some jam like this. Slop it all on. And you put it together. And this is an old-fashioned... And it basically gives you a heart attack in about 5 minutes. But on behalf of Great Britain...
Thank you very much.
There is your first ever scone.
Okay, I'm going to try it. Okay, do I just go away?
Just go for it.
Okay.
Now, how good is that? Seriously.
Delicious. I love it.
Seriously. It's the
good.
tastiest thing you're ever
It's
going to
like a Popeye's chicken biscuit. My favorite. I know I'm supposed to be proper. I'm having tea.
It's pretty
delicious.
cool, isn't it?
I love it.
Isn't it nice?
The cream is so great.
You've spoken quite honestly and openly about occasionally having slight weight problems in your life. How have you dealt with them? And what advice do you give your female fans in particular who may be going through that period in their lives?
Well, I have found my personal goal, my ideal weight for myself, and I try to stick with that. You can't let anyone tell you what, you know, your best is. You know what your best is. And I work at it. You know, you can have whatever you want. It just takes work.
You're 29 years old.
Yes.
And in September, the
30.
looming, dooming big 3-0 is emerging in your life. You're pretending to be very, very thrilled about this.
No,
Are you?
I am absolutely serious. I can't wait because 29 is very strange. You're still in your 20s, but you feel like you're supposed to be 30, and I feel like a woman. I feel, you know, like I'm very aware of who I am, and I feel great. And I feel like 30 is the ideal age because you're mature enough to know who you are and to have your boundaries and your standards and not be afraid of too polite, but you're young enough to be a young woman. I'm so looking forward to it.
You see, when I hear you speak like this, in this mature, sensible, rational way...
It's the truth.
Yeah, but it's beginning to sound a bit like your mother, which makes me think
no.
You're now heading to the right kind of time in your life.
I'm turning into my mom.
No, I didn't mean that.
You're trying to say I need to have a baby.
I didn't even ask the question.
Okay. I always said I would have a baby at 30.
I know you did.
I'm 29.
Exactly.
But I also said I was going to retire at 30. So I don't know.
So it could be a big year.
Who knows? I'm not retiring.
Can we expect the little patter of little Beyonce and Jay-Z's?
You know, only God knows. Only God knows.
Would you mind asking him to tell me?
I will. I will have a conversation. I whisper, but you can't tell anybody else.
Now, we're going to go off in a moment to do a very exciting thing involving your new album. But before we go, if I could ask you to replay the greatest moment of your life, the moment, the 5 minutes maybe, that you would replay if you had the chance, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
So far?
I talked about, I think, 2 of the highlights, which is Glastonbury and performing for the president.
I was kind of hoping that you were going to say tea and scones.
But that's because you didn't give me a chance. You just...
So for the record,
you ruined
the greatest moment of your life?
Absolutely speaking to you today, Mr. Morgan.
Beyonce?
Yes.
I couldn't have asked for more. When we come back, Beyonce, you and I are going to go album hunting.
Yes, we are. There's a special album out today.
So I hear.
Yes.
I hope they're stocking it.
I hope they are too.
So we are now snaking through South Kensington.
South Kensington.
Heading towards Harrods.
I can't believe we're actually about to do this.
Well, nor can I. We're actually going to go into Harrods and buy a copy of your album.
It's very exciting.
Imagine the hell that's going to descend on these assistants if they don't have it in stock.
I know. That won't be good.
I could see your fuse blowing if that happened.
No.
This could be a very tense few moments.
No.
Now, the big question, really, that I need to ask you is you or J-Lo?
Me or who?
J-Lo.
What?
Who has the best booty, obviously?
You are crazy. J-Lo.
You don't honestly think
I love J-Lo. She's great.
You think she's got a better booty than me?
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm not comparing my booty to J-Lo's.
Who are the real rivals for you? And don't pretend you don't have them, because everyone needs rivals. Who are the names you look for to compare yourself to in terms of success?
Well, to be honest with you, in the past, I've always looked at my last performances and my last chart positions and tried to figure out how I can better myself. I don't feel like I really have any, I don't want to say rivals. There are people that I respect. There are people that I admire. Like, I love Gaga. She's like, not even more than an artist, as a human being. She's just so genuine and such a really nice person and brilliant.
But I can offer you, I'm like the magic genie, and I can offer you complete anonymity again. You're never going to have another prying camera. You're never going to have a weirdo fan. Just complete privacy for the rest of your life. The only deal is you have to be poor.
I don't know. Because I'm thinking that I would probably go back but then that means I wouldn't be me. I don't know. It's a tough thing because I'm happy with my choices in my life and I'm happy with my life. So I don't know.
Does money bring happiness to you then?
No. It brings some happiness. It brings comfort. But absolutely.
I was thinking that if you have a lot of money, you don't have to worry about money.
You don't have to worry about it.
And a lot of people in the world have to worry about
They do,
money.
and it's tough. It's extremely tough. We've been through times in our family where we had to worry. It's stressful on relationships, on everything. And I'm very happy that I don't right now. Who knows, you know. Look what you did.
I'm sorry, I can only apologise. It's the bane of my life. They follow me everywhere.
Here we go.
Good news.
Whoa!
Good news, your album's on sale.
It is. That looks so cool.
I think we need to buy one, don't you?
I think we do.
Hey, good news. We can actually probably get 2.
Okay.
All right?
That is great.
You can afford it, right?
I didn't bring any cash.
You want me to buy them?
Yes, I think.
How much are you worth? Seriously, the $100 million woman, you're making me buy your own album?
I don't have any cash. I'm sorry.
Seriously? This is really awkward. I better check. Hey, look, why don't we get one of these? Here.
Winning.
It has to be. Mm-hmm. It's the perfect T-shirt.
It is.
I'm going to get you one of these in one of your albums.
Okay.
I can't do fairer than that. After you.
Thank you.
That's
That is great.
Quite a racy little number, huh?
good music on there.
Never mind the music.
Good music.
All the pictures I'm interested in.
I appreciate it.
Charges me to buy her own record. No wonder she's so rich. Seriously.
I'm telling you.
So this was apparently, this mayhem was all caused by one tweet on Twitter.
I know, the power of Twitter.
Nothing secret anymore, is it?
It's not. That is a little disappointing. It's hard to keep that excitement that I used to have when I saw a photograph of Michael Jackson or Prince, the mystery, and just being able to kind of create the fantasy in your mind. It's so hard to keep that. But, you know...
Is that one of the reasons that you're quite private?
It is. I think it's important.
Try and keep the mystique?
It's important. I enjoyed that. It's an exciting thing as a fan to be able to yearn for more.
Well, it's interesting. Twitter brought them all here, and then all the camera phones come out.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom.
True.
Everyone's a paparazzi now.
Everyone's a director. Everyone's a photographer.
Thank you.
Great.
Seriously. I loved it. It was really good.